His head throbbed as though it were set to burst, and his arms and legs felt numb with needle-stabbing pulses flickered through them. He seized up, once, twice. He flopped in the containment of his pod as though he was embracing death. It lasted an eternity. He knew nothing, remembered nothing, and was surrounded by pure pain and terror as his body fought itself in fits and bursts. His life could have ended, begun anew, and then ended again before it finally ceased. A calm that could be attributed to ecstasy washed over him. Any sensation other than pain meant life, and life was welcome. Cold could be felt, along with his heartbeat which pulsed through his chest, the pressure pumped behind his eyes, under his scalp to his toes. Consciousness seemed to grow a little more with each steady beat, bringing with it the knowledge that whatever had hit him just then had been survived. Somehow, that didn't change the fact that something was amiss, in the way that you turn to realize you're about to crash or you've taken a bad step. Something was very wrong. His brain felt slow, knotted. All thoughts seemed to bend back on themselves, and no recognition was surfacing but the conditioning. The worst part was that too was fading, but it was shouting at him as it left. Something was wrong. Where was he? As the man sat up, he found that he was in a glass box. Edged with metal along its angles, it stood as an almost perfect cube. Beyond the cube was simply more metal and a series of lights which flashed at regular rhythms. Bleary-eyed, he stared in mild confusion. This wasn't his ship, but as he tried to recollect what his ship would look like, he realized he simply could not. He sat in a metal pod that seemed to chill the air around it and pour of a strange white cloud over its edges. Markings covered it, dents and scrapes, letters that he recognized but couldn't seem to read. There were similar markings on his wrist, but they seemed wrong. For some reason he felt as though he was at the butt end of a sick joke. Wiping tears from his eyes, he noticed that his skin was bare. Pale and white from the cold, it glowed within the cube's strange light. For the exception of some loose shorts around the waist, his flesh was naked. There was no recognition at all.